This is our lesson for 6.1. It's on medians. In a triangle, a median is a segment that joins a vertex of a triangle and the midpoint of the side opposite of that vertex. So this red segment right here is a median because one side of the segment touches a vertex and the other side of that segment touches the midpoint of a side of the triangle. Now I know that's a midpoint because these lengths are marked congruent. Medians can also look this way. Notice how segment UT is a median because one end of the segment touches a vertex and the other end touches the midpoint of that opposite side. And again, I know that's a midpoint because these segments are congruent. So that makes T the midpoint. So here's a triangle. It's triangle MNP. They're telling you that both segment MC and segment ND are medians. So really what that means is this point is a midpoint. N is the vertex. That's what makes it a median. Same thing with segment MC. What is the distance from N to C? That's this guy. If N to P is 18. So we're going to say that this entire length is 18. How long is it from N to C? It's going to be 9. C is the midpoint because segment MC is a median. E to P is 7.5. How far is it from M to P? Well, if this is 7.5, this is 7.5. So the whole thing would be 15. Those are little problems you can do when you know that there are medians in a triangle. That was an easy one. This one's a little bit tougher. Same type of diagram, you have a triangle. They're telling you the two segments are medians. So that means that's a midpoint and that's a midpoint. R to Q is 7x minus 1. S to P is 5x minus 4. Q to T is 6x plus 9. Find the distance from P to T. Well, you're not going to find this unless you know what x is. You know R to Q and Q to T are the same. So we can write an equation. That distance and that distance must be the same. So we're going to solve for x. We'll subtract 6x from both sides. Then we'll add 1 to both sides. So x is 10. That means 5 times 10, 50, minus 4 is 46. So how far is it from P to T if S to P is 46? It's also 46. How many medians does each triangle have? Well, that's not a median unless this point is a midpoint. So even though it looks like it might be a midpoint, you can't say that's a median unless you have those marks. Okay, so there's one median. Again, you can't say that's a median even though it looks like it unless you know those are the same. And notice how I'm using different marks here because these don't have to be the same. Maybe that looks like a midpoint, maybe it doesn't. If I put these marks here, then it's telling you, yeah, that's a midpoint. So that's definitely a median as well. How many medians would each triangle have? 3, 1 from every vertex.